Man gives girlfriend a necklace. She was shocked to find what's inside 2 years later. It's a fair assumption that you'd want to get the greatest gift for your loved one. Many individuals spend much time scouring for the best present in the mall or online. But on the other hand, if you take a moment to do it yourself, it may be even more exceptional. This is a tale about a man who wanted to do that when his girlfriend's first anniversary was coming. Partially store-bought was his gift, while he also made bits of it. We could perhaps say he was a sweet person, but the fact of the matter was that the gift had been concealing a huge secret this whole time. The receiver did not even know anything for about 2 years. He gave her a necklace for their anniversary, but it was hiding something the whole time. 2 years later, the shocking truth about his handcrafted anniversary gift finally came out. The focal point of this story is an Australian couple. For a year, Terry and Anna were together and wanted to celebrate their relationship's first year. Let us backtrack a bit. Both of them have been nothing more than friends for 4 years. They realized it was a good thing that they were ideal for each other. They both felt fortunate to have each other. Their match had been met at long last. What have they been planning on doing for their first anniversary? Terry was planning on giving a gift to his girlfriend that she would love. He decided that making something for her was the best thing to do. He may not be the most innovative individual out there, but it was the idea that made a difference. Besides, he had in mind a plan. For her, he planned to make a necklace. It wasn't going to be easy here. The assignment required a huge amount of time and dedication, for one thing. Terry got to complete it by himself, even after everything. He ran to the shop to buy a chain when he was done with this. Combining the two parts was the next step. Using Tasmanian wood, he decided to make the pendant. For panels, cabinets, pieces of furniture, and smaller objects, high-quality timber is typically used. The simple truth that it is close-grained and tough is what makes it so good. This implies that it does not immediately degrade and lends the piece a dark and satiny color. You ought to know he spent a great deal of time working on it. He prayed all the while that she would appreciate all of his efforts. She had no clue, though, that he was hiding a huge secret. Actually, as he was making it, he slipped something into the necklace. Only a couple of years later did the truth come out. What was his plan for the big day, though? They went out for dinner that night. It was his chance to give her the gift he was so hard at work on. He was nervous at first. Would she have liked a homemade necklace? He knew that when it came to clothes, she was picky. If she did not end up liking it, it would have been sad. After they had completed their dish, Terry finally handed her the present. How did Anna feel about the present that was handcrafted? Since his hands were slightly trembling, he was clearly nervous as he collected the piece from the pocket of his coat. At the time, the only thing he could do was hope for the best. Perhaps Anna didn't like the present, but she loved it. The fact that it was a lovely piece is not to be denied. However, what really made it stand out was that he took the time and effort into making it for her. She was surprised to know he was going to do something like that. Terry was relieved to hear this as well. That he would do such a thing was truly amazing. This show of affection moved her. Anna immediately put the necklace in and hardly ever took it off from that day forward. And although she wore it normally, she was unaware of its secret. Not once did she believe it was anything more than a necklace. She felt loved. Who would have guessed your boyfriend had hidden something for you inside his gift? Since he thought this was a great way to maintain it out of view, Terry took this route. The plan worked, but before the truth came to light, it was only a matter of time. When it did, it was time to make a big decision for them. He was worried she would have figured it out sooner than he would have liked. He knew that if he did not get the timing right, it would result in a huge fight. There was really no way he could cover up it permanently, but he was preparing to reveal it to her at best possible time. Otherwise, his plan would fail. The necklace Anna liked a lot. We really aren't shocked to know that she, for this very reason, showed it to her friends. However, Terry was afraid because they might unwittingly discover the secret. It would be okay if it remained on her neck. A problem could arise, however, if someone snatched it a little too hard. She wanted to show her friends, who also were living overseas, the necklace. It was via video calls made possible. The call was not set up by Anna just so that she could show it off. It was intended to be a straightforward conversation, but everyone would always notice she was donning it. Her friends were obviously observant. Well, Anna had a good friend named Sophia. Sadly, a couple of years ago, she left the country and now lives far away in Scotland. The two women did miss their best friend, but they made sure they remained in touch. At least once a month, they always call each other. In those moments, Sophia and Anna liked catching up. No matter what, Anna declined to stop wearing the necklace. Terry was just glad it didn't look like he had just been caught. After her friends got used to the necklace, she felt relieved too. No one wanted to inspect it after that anymore. He just hoped things would remain this way for a while. She did not actually take the necklace off unless it was necessary for her to do so. Apart from that, Anna enjoyed wearing it in a way that would make it visible to all. Even during trips to the gym, pool, or beach, she kept it on. We can take this to mean that she appreciated the gift made for her by her boyfriend. You can see in this family photo that she was wearing it on that day. Terry and Anna wanted to go on holiday after some time together. Even though they did not really have time to do so, the two of them absolutely loved traveling. Actually, this would be the first time they were going to leave together. We can see why it was so exciting for them. But where were they planning on going? The truth was that flying hated Anna. The great news was that Australia was full of places they could visit without getting on a plane. She wanted to go to local attractions, so it was possible to do this. Terry, on the other hand, would have liked to travel further but agreed with her condition. They chose a destination they could access via a bus ride. The two of them did not even want to stay for a long time in a single place. They wanted to go on a road trip instead and hit as many locations as they could. Anna and Terry had wanted to go to places they had never visited before. It was a terrific trip. The couple was happy. During their time away, they created many lovely memories together. Only this made Terry feel even more certain that for him, she was the one. However, before he could take the next step with Anna, he had to deal with the matter of the necklace. What now? On their vacation, both Terry and Anna had a great time. But the whole time, he was full of fear and shame about the necklace's mystery. He was not able, after all, to put it off for the rest of the time. Only one way to deal with it existed. Shortly, he had to tell her the reality, but he found it very difficult to do it anyway. For a long period of time, Terry failed to bring the truth to light. They agreed to take some other trip together the following year. Both of them liked to travel and wanted to see the world with one another. However, it was a bit different this time around. He wanted to take an overseas trip. How did Anna feel about this? She wanted to make Terry happy, even though Anna was still terrified of flying. That's why she agreed with his suggestion. They chatted about the areas they would be able to visit. There was one thing for sure, they would not go anywhere he had been before. With his girlfriend, Terry loves to discover a new place. He wasn't the only one that had the shots to call. Anna wanted to see friends she had not seen for quite some time. This was her motivation and effort to conquer her fear of flying. Terry was more than pleased to accept this request from her. He wasn't minded. They found the perfect destination soon enough. Terry and Anna had their minds made up. They went to Scotland. He had never been there before, and it was his opportunity to explore the United Kingdom. On top of that, Anna could not wait for her best friend to be reunited with her. We are delighted that both of them have reached an agreement on where to go. But the reality was, something was up to his sleeve. Terry knew it was the greatest time to tell Anna about the necklace's secret. With the love of his life, this was his opportunity to come clean. There was no wasting time. Who knows when the next one would come if he didn't take this chance? There were close calls there. Every now and then, Terry feared that he could not stay silent about all this. Finally, for the very first time, the two of them boarded a plane together. But Terry was anxious about the safety inspection. He was worried that what the necklace was concealing would be detected by the airport staff. At the airport, he could not rein in his panic. What would he say to Anna, after all, if the security staff asked for a deeper look at the necklace? That would signal the end of the plan for him. When this type of situation certainly didn't come true, he let out a sigh of relief. It was just a routine check for security. No one was beating an eyelash against them. It was a good thing during this part of the trip that nothing strange took place. Terry took this as a good sign. He tried to tell himself that he should simply concentrate on the journey to have the time of his life. But things generally go according to plan, as we all know. It is extremely difficult, after all, to predict future flawlessly. Terry had in mind a plan. During the tour, he wanted to pull off a tactic. Without Anna having noticed, how was he going to have the hidden object from the necklace? For hours on end, he waited to get the best moment to do just that. It would have been tricky, but he was beginning to get desperate. The item had remained in the necklace for 2 years with nobody noticing the true situation. Terry wanted to get it out of his necklace, but it was hard to pull what he had in mind off it. For one thing, Anna was always wearing it no matter what she went to. It was not simple for him to find the chance that he'd been waiting for. It was a positive thing there had been an opening in their initiatives for him. The ideal time to do this, Terry did think, was when they came to visit the caves in northern Scotland. It was still difficult, he came to know, but he had no option. He considered the consequences, making a decision, ultimately, that it was worth it. Later, we'll get there. For now, before everything else, let us speak about the destination. You see, both Anna and Terry had been preparing for this portion of the journey. When they were planning their Scottish quick escape, this was at the top of their lists. They could not wait for the two of them to see what the cave was like. They were both excited. As they were on the way to this destination, his nerves were getting to him. Terry came to know the relationship would be impacted by the plan, more than ever. He wanted the best scenario, of course, to take effect. There's no way to tell what Anna was going to be saying about it, so he managed to keep his. Terry realized that after they managed to reach the caves, it was time. Anna was shocked when Terry suddenly asked her to take the necklace off. What has been going on? Although she did acquiesce, she had no clue what he was trying to do. But once she handed it over to him, what did he do? He pulled a pocket knife out, to her complete disbelief. This only left her feeling more concerned, but when he broke it apart and passed the remains to her, her eyes widened. In a surprise, she could only gape at him. Why would he do such a thing on earth? He knew how much this piece of jewelry she loved and admired. She felt extremely upset with him straight away. How could he have done something like that to her cherished item? She asked if she had a sick prank pulled on her, but she managed to figure out what's been going on when he gave her back. The necklace had been cut in half, so all this time, she could see what had actually been in there. Anna couldn't have believed this. Had there truly been an engagement ring all this time inside the pendant? She glanced at Terry, who was down on his knee already. Everything about it came to her as a total shock. It had, after all, been a roller coaster of feelings. She screamed in delight once the truth dawned on her. Even though she wore it daily, she didn't imagine an engagement ring within the necklace. Anna was pleased to give him a response to his question, yes. Terry was pleased to hear this, and they decided to share a kiss with him. In fact, for quite a while now, she has been waiting for a proposal. Still, it totally surpassed anything she had ever imagined. This is not yet the end of the tale. Once Anna had digested what had just happened, she was hit by reality. Wait, it's been in there the entire time. I could have lost it, you idiot, she told him. Terry clarified that he was sure she would be cautious about it. We are glad he was right about that. It's the first moment we ever have heard of such a proposal. When there was no trust between them, this would not have been feasible. They announced the news with their loved ones later on. Look at a picture of Anna with her parents, who were happy to hear about all this. They knew Terry was a good person. Sharing the good news. None of this was expected by Anna, which really only made the whole thing even better. This was the best proposal she could envision, as per her. He left her feeling like the planet's luckiest lady. We're happy that the two of them have found each other, as it's obviously a perfect match. It was incredible that he made the gift on his own, and it's even more wonderful than he had the presence of mind to conceal the ring inside it. This is the correct way, folks, to propose to the love of your life. They are still blissfully happy.